Hello, I am Dario Maccarrone from LORIOT, and this is Future Frame, where we explore what's next in tech, culture, and innovation through fresh voices and unexpected perspectives. And as we at LORIOT are celebrating our 10th anniversary, this is a very special episode as I have here with me Julian Studer, founder and CEO of LORIOT, talking about his journey. So let's start. And here we are. Hello, Julian. Thank you for joining me today. As said before, Julian is founder and CEO. His journey started 10 years ago, and today he's going to share lesson learned and insight from this 10-year journey. So let's start. I mean, building and leading and successfully leading a company for 10 years must have been a very interesting journey, and for sure many insights to share with our audience today. So I've prepared this episode divided in two sections. One will be talking about your personal journey, and the second one is probably also interesting for our audience, talking about IoT, as after 10 years you are for sure an expert in the sector, talking about IoT, what's happening now, and what to expect in the future. So let's start. And as said, I would like to ask, this journey started, I've been part of it for a while already as well. But this journey actually started in 2014 with the first day, and then in 2015 the first operation started, the first infrastructure, global infrastructure, the first community, and so on. So my first question is going to be what inspired you at first 10 years ago to leave your job and start a company?
Yeah, Dario, thank you first of all for the invitation for this interview. It's I think it's going to be interesting to tell a bit to people how we started, what we did, and what our future predictions are for the market. But to get back to your question, what motivated me, it was a combination of two factors. One was the first factor was a demotivation, and the second factor was a motivation. So let's start with the demotivation. The demotivation part was that I was working in the banking industry as an investment banker for 10 years. And over the years 2012 to 2014, there were pretty tough times with the financial crisis worldwide, especially in Switzerland, and especially for the large bank I was working. So many things changed. It became more compliant, legal heavy, etc. The reputation wasn't anymore the same, etc. And I felt that I was not in the right place anymore, especially seeing myself several more years in that industry didn't make me happy. And in the same time, I came across something that by then was called IoT. That was new to me. I didn't know. I had to ask, okay, what is IoT? Okay, Internet of Things, interesting, connecting sensors to the internet. I mean, I'm not fully technical, but by then I had my own Wi-Fi network. I used the internet, etc. I knew that there are sensors connected to the internet, and it sounded interesting, so I did some research on it. And after doing this research, I clearly saw the potential for the future of IoT. I was always saying that's the fourth or the fifth industrial revolution that is coming, similar to the 80s when the internet came. And I thought, okay, I leave where I'm not really happy, and I start something new that is future-driven and is interesting. And looking back to 2014, today I can say that I took the right decision to.
Still a new thing. So sometimes
it is still new,
but introduce again, explain again what IoT is, because it's a new concept. Even if it's like 20 years already that the terms is out, we're still fighting sometimes in explaining to potential customers or partners what IoT is and why they should approach it. They should adopt it.
Absolutely, yes.
So, but 10 years. Let's go back to 10 years. Like, I know you are a fan of Marvels, so let's start with the origins. Like the Marvel. So let's go back to the 10 years. At the beginning, what are the main challenge to start a new company and in let's say a new environment in a new sector for you? What will be where were the challenges that you had to face in the early days?
I think the biggest challenges were the underestimation of building a company. You have to be a bit careful with the microphone. I hear the papers strong. Yeah, just as in that. Yeah, as I said, I completely underestimated the efforts or what it takes to, let's say, build a company. And well, you know me, if I do something, then I tend to do it really correct and also future-proof. And that meant that everything from scratch, building the company, it had to be done the right way. So I had also to accept by then that I needed help from some people that had that experience already to help me to do the right steps, especially legally, creating the company, doing the right bank accounts, doing the right insurances, etc. It's not just like, okay, I have an idea, let's build a startup and let's go. So that was one of the challenges, and yeah, I was completely underestimated because it's much more behind it, and I think everyone that has built his own company knows that this is completely underestimated, all the steps you need to do, and then you get from the government request, you have to pay taxes, you have to do the accounting, and more when you grow, I think the HR topic becomes more heavily loaded because, yeah, you will see in our conversation that I am always saying it's all about people, and in combination with all the administrative work to keep a company running, it's quite a challenge. Another challenge to me was a bit also to find the right people, to build up the right team from scratch. And in the beginning, we had some issues, but I think looking back and up to today, I think we as a company, we have been super happy with the members we have had so far inside LORIOT.
Yeah, the people is key. I agree completely. And as you said, mentoring, find the right mentors, find the right then let's say people to share the journey with. It's complex, and so this is, let's say, the perfect basis for my next question would be, which values are the basis when you were building a company? We are still building this company because the journey never ends, hopefully. But what are the values at the basis, the foundation to build a company with the right people?
Well, I think building a company, as said, it's not only based on administrative tasks and of a product, of a pricing, but the company needs to have also a personality, as we do, like you do, Dario, as I do, and you need to build this up. And if you're speaking about values, I think from scratch, this was one of the most important things to me, to build up a company that is trustful and has a really good reputation. For instance, we are, I would say, a bit more, we are not aggressive on the marketing side. We are careful what we post. We post on facts. And I think from scratch, building up such a reputation with values was also kind of a challenge, because somehow you need to be aggressive, but on the other side, you need to be also absolutely correct in the market, respectful. And I think respect is one of the most important keywords. It's meaning, first of all, starting with respecting the people in the team, because they are going to decide where the company is going to lead. But it's also about respecting the market, speak about the market, also competitors. Of course, when you are jumping into a business in a sector where is gold digger experience, you will not be the only gold digger anymore. More companies will come, and that's what we've seen with IoT. We have seen you have seen companies popping up like grass in the IT sector because there's a big hype and competitors come, but it means that we have to be also respectful towards them, and sometimes even look for synergies if there is a way to collaborate together to become stronger.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that in our team we managed to do that, and we are like 50, about 50 now, and we can be really proud of our really low fluctuation rate. Only 3.5 means people stay with us, which means that they trust and they believe in what we are doing. And as you said, respect is key, trust is key, and I'm sure. But the journey was always like easy. So my next question is, what is one lesson you've learned, and what is this unforgettable moment that you carry with you till now?
Yeah, then I think when people speak about learned lessons, it's more to learn from some negative experience, because that's what makes us stronger. And I think still today, sometimes I'm running around with pink glasses with the ideology that every human being is nice and trustful, but I had to learn the hard way that that's unfortunately not the case, that I have to learn to be more careful, to take more time before I really deeply trust someone. And in the past, there were like some disappointments during the career of LORIOT, important people that meant something, and got a disappointment. And those times are over. I think we went over it, and as of today, we have a super nice structure with the right people inside the company. So since years, I'm absolutely happy. And here I have to say also the full trust of the management we have today. But that was a learning to be, let's say, a bit more considering a bit more risk and taking more time to read and learn the people before I jump in to give them the full trust. It's somehow a bit sad to say that, but I think it's one of my most important lessons I have learned, to be a bit more careful, to make a step back, and not always run around with pink glasses, because this can fall back. And a beautiful thing I never forgot. Yeah, maybe it's something silly, but it stayed, because it was 2015, around June, July. That was the first revenue we generated. And the first revenue we generated was $25. And the funny thing, those $25 were coming from Pakistan, from a small university somewhere out there. And I mean, it was 10 o'clock in the evening. I remember I was working, and then suddenly we got a message from this accounting system we have, because we had automated the registration of accounts, that you could buy what we call today professional accounts with SLAs, etc. And we initiated it that week, and during the week, suddenly at 10 o'clock in the evening, I got that email, you earned $25. And that was really a special moment, because those were really the first revenues that popped in into a company, and it was a student from Pakistan. That's something I would
the internet bill. We could pay the internet bill for 1 month.
Yes, exactly.
No. Of course, from somewhere. No, we have to start from somewhere, and it's actually, in my opinion, it's very cool that this is kind of a validation for a startup, that LORIOT was at that time getting revenue basically from the start. This is a very good input, and well, I agree with you that not always you can always trust people from the beginning, and this you have to learn from here, from there as well. So fast forward now, starting from this $25, 10 years later. 10 years is a important milestone. And what does it mean to you personally, this 10-year achievement, and to LORIOT as a company?
Well, it makes me extremely happy, because imagine when I started 10 years ago, everything was open. I mean, statistically, only 1 of 10 companies survived the first year. We survived it. We were break even. We had the luck to win 1 or 2 larger customers at the very first beginning that helped us to finance the structure of the company. Also helped us to get 5-6 people to start growing, to work also on security, etc. And then another milestone that is important for companies is the 5 years. So statistically, it's also saying when a company reached or managed to survive the first 5 years, it counts already as a stable company. And up to then, every year we were like always fully break even. Our revenues were growing, and I think up to today we have an average growth of around 60% looking back to the last 10 years, which is quite big. And it's combined with the growing IoT sector. And the 5 years was also some kind of a relief because we survived it. We were stable. We were break even. So everything was going on the right way. Of course, by 5 years, we also saw that competition came into the market. There were then the challenges of competition and an extreme price dropping of what we had in the beginning. Like the first year, the prices dropped by 70, even to up to 80%, depending if it was the network server or the connectivity of the sensors. But I think one of the most important milestones was from today, 4 years back, when we decided to do a Series A round with our strategic partner, the Weicker Group from Germany. At that stage, it was not really about the money. Of course, cash is important. Cash is king. That's what we say in the market. But our main goal was to find a large strategic partner that can open to us new doors and in new sectors. And gives us also this good reputation we have today in the market, because this company has an excellent reputation. They work on high quality towards end customer. That's also our approach. And thanks to them, we had managed in the last years to be on the table with Forbes companies, like really large blue chip companies, where without this strategic partnership, we probably wouldn't have had the chance to have this door open. And this helped us massively to grow the company.
Yeah, this let's say reputation concept is something recurrent in your speaking, and I agree that it's very important. And I wanted to ask, what are, let's say, the ingredient to build such a good reputation in the market? One is, of course, respect that you mentioned before, and what's the rest? What a company, not what we did, but what a company should do to get this good reputation and to build good reputation in their market?
Yeah, I would say no bullshitting at all. Like, be very direct, be honest, and do not invent things. I mean, in the beginning, and I said, and once competition came, we saw a lot of very aggressive marketing in the market. I wouldn't agree with everything I have seen there. And most probably in that beginning, we as a company, we also lost a bit traction in the market, because we decided internally and also in agreement with the management that we won't go this way of doing such aggressive marketing, pushing too strong, pushing things that might not be true just to get the traction of the market. We kept being a bit in the background, doing our work properly and correct. And that's, I think, what we did. And that's what the market realized today, because from scratch, after 2 or 3 years, we have decided to focus on the large customers with the need of the highest quality of products in the sense of security and a trustful company. And that made us maybe in the beginning be a little bit behind others on the market visibility, but I think today we have managed to place our name in a pretty beautiful way and long term, and today it's helping us.
Yeah, I agree with this, and of course, leading the marketing effort in the company for me is sometimes a struggle, because we stick to facts, but sometimes we are not allowed, because our customers are, as you said, are big companies, and they don't want to, let's say, that we use their names, or because this is IoT is not their core business, and for many reasons, branding and so on. So sometimes it's hard to we have so many good things we could have told, but we didn't, because we were not allowed. But I agree that stick to fact, not not saying you said it perfectly. I don't want to repeat, but we will cut the bite for another moment. So, and if you and then we close this first section of the chat. If you could tell one thing is at the basic of LORIOT success, what this would be is, you complete the sentence.
Yeah, the basic, here I go back to have the right people. We have learned to be very picky with the people we, let's say, accept in our family. And when I do interviews for people, to me, 80 to 90% is the mindset, because people are grown some kind with a mindset. They grow up with a kind of mindset. They can learn things. They can present a CV with with a bachelor, with university degree, even with an MBA, but it doesn't mean that they will be able to work in a sense we want to do. When I do the interviews, I like to see the fire. I like to see the passion, because people with passion, they become good. And I hardly look honestly at the CV. What I do is really I have to get the feeling in the interview that this person is willing and is motivated to learn something. Everyone can learn things in life, but the thing you cannot change is the mindset or the motivation to work and be a team player together with the team. So I think saying this, we have found this culture to be picky on letting someone in with the company, but I think we have done a super great job, because I'm absolutely happy, and that's something that fulfills me the most, to see the people we have in the company are absolutely great people. They're loyal. We have a super low fluctuation rate of 3.5%, and this also reconfirms that I think we as a management, we have done a good job in picking those people, because a company is nothing without the people. The people build the company, the people make the culture of the company, and the people give the reputation out to the market, where I think today we can be proud of what we have built.
It's the execution, and I couldn't agree more. And I have to say, personally, since the very beginning when I joined LORIOT, now it's nearly 9 years or so. So it's a long run for me as well. And first thing I said, okay, I want to assess, or I want to check what the asset of the company are in terms of communication. So what our foundations, and I discovered immediately that inside the company, already in the team since the very beginning, there was this growth mindset, people that are hungry to grow, hungry to build something that it matters. And this was definitely one of our assets since the very beginning in the communication. And I'm really proud of being part of this team, and sharing also with you and the rest of the management the responsibility to make the company grow. So let's move now to the second sections of our chat, our conversation, and let's talk about IoT. You are definitely an expert. 10 years in the market, leading a global IoT company. So my first question is, and this is probably the question, why IoT is important today?
Well, I think IoT opens a lot of doors that in the back were not easy accessible. Like, I mean, if you wanted to measure something, normally you had to put wires. And putting wires, if you want to connect, 10,000, 50,000 sensors, is a quite hard work. And IoT has developed to a way that the implementation of the project has become very easy, because the sensors have become cheap. They run sometimes with a battery of a lifetime of 10 years. So it means that you don't need an external electricity plug or wire to support the sensor with power. And one other aspect is that with the new technologies like LoRaWAN or IoT, the market has developed a technology that is very strong with the penetration of the signal. Like an example, we had projects in some cities with the need of measuring canalizations, and this wasn't possible with all the technologies. But once they started to test LoRaWAN or IoT, they managed to have the signal deep inside the canalization, and they place a sensor. The installation is easily done. You don't have a set to put wires, and you get the data off of your screen. But this also helps to decrease, let's say, or increase safety for human beings, for cities. So it's also a question of social responsibility. And there we have some really beautiful projects running.
Yeah, you anticipated me because, of course, I wanted to ask, now the technology or the technologies are mature, because there are many technologies, many connectivity protocols and so on. So why it matters, how does, of course, beyond financial efficiency or gain, why IoT can be how IoT can be useful to tackle the challenges of humanity today. You said safety, but I'm sure there is more.
Yeah, there is of course much more. And speaking in a sense of the company, I mean, in the end, what we want to do is sell a service, sell connectivity, sell sensors, because that's what brings business, that's what pays our salaries, and that's what helps us to grow the team and the size of the company. But it's a beautiful, let's say, I would maybe not call it side effect, but it's a really beautiful effect to see. And internally, we have built also the LORIOT Verso company that is dedicated for such use cases, in increase the productivity, increase the security of companies. Like on construction sites, we have some projects with larger oil and gas companies where they have managed to massively reduce the risk of people by measuring gas explosions, fire, smoke, vibrations, GPS tracking, etc. And those are beautiful moments. Or like another example, where in the agriculture field in Latin America, where thanks to IoT, they have managed to reduce the water consumption up to 80%, because they're placing sensors, and the sensors are telling them, no, here, I don't need water. It's still good enough. Only put water where it's really necessary. But in general, what we see is that around 50% of our use cases are connected to risk reduction. And risk reduction can be for human beings, can also be for the nature, as we do projects with wildfire prevention. I mean, it's a hot topic over the last years. Every year in Europe, we see big wildfires. And with this kind of sensoring, we can predict if a region is, let's say, in danger, to be more careful, or better, we can inform if there is a fire or smoke early enough, so that hopefully it can be stopped before it spreads out and gets out of control. Those are just some examples of many.
Yeah, the brilliant example of, we always call it triple impact of IoT. It means it is the financial, economic aspect, but also an impact, a positive impact that is social, like some of your example, or environmental. And we are lucky, that we can contribute to this, working with what we know. And staying in this, now that we are talking today, why IoT is important, how do you see IoT in the next 10 years?
Yeah, hopefully booming even stronger exponentially, because I think everyone in the IoT field will agree that when we look back at 2014, 2015, the predictions were, let's say, massively booming. They were expecting that already in 2016, 2017, we would face a huge exponential growth of number of sensors. I think today everyone in the IT industry would agree that this hasn't happened as expected. Everyone would also agree that it has been growing steadily, and most probably also the last 2-3 years, at least on our side, we have faced an exponential growth, which is nice to see. So I would say it's a delay of this exponential growth, but it's happening. And as you said, Dario, in the beginning, I think IoT is still in a very early baby phase. Even if you are since 10 years in this business, it's still early. A lot of companies are just joining, asking, okay, what is IT? We have to do digitalization. What are the advantages? So there is still a lot to learn. And this means that for companies like us, we need to invest time to educate the market, educate potential new partners, potential new customers, to tell them the advantages of IoT. But I see IoT definitely growing very strong, competition will be growing also very strong. And for this, I think that to us, it's very important also to find the right partners in the market as we have today with Vika, because this makes us stronger. These partnerships make us stronger, and it will be impossible to do every part of the chain of IoT ourselves. We are software specialists. We have know how to build hardware, but we won't, because we are strong in what we do, and we have to focus there. So I think focus is going to be very important for the next 10 years as competition is growing, to be always on the top level of what we do, because you cannot be the best in everything. And once you start trying to do other things, you might lose the focus and lose this competitive advantage in the market.
I agree one more time. And as you said, well, it sounds very exciting, and it's true that we are lucky to witness this growth now. That is, we see monthly the number of sensors growing, the number of sensors connected to our network growing month after month, which is very, very exciting. And as you said, also the fact that we cannot do everything, and this is, in my opinion, is also a lucky thing, because interoperability in the IoT market is definitely key. It means that any organization, any company, any governmental institution can decide to buy their own hardware, or to build, if they want, their own hardware, connect to any kind of network using different kind of connectivities, and display and visualize the information on many different IoT platforms, and they can pick their component and build like Legos.
Mm-hmm.
You build your component, and it's important that every component, every companies, every IoT enabler make their component that are easy to connect one another, because this is at the end, it will facilitate the adoption and the diffusion of IoT worldwide. I have one final question. This is, let's say, our question future frame. If you could frame one shift that the world would need to fully unlock the power of IoT, where would you put your fishes?
Yeah, well, I think that's something that today is familiar with everyone, but is still a super baby phase. And this is AI. I know that every event you go, it's also already sometimes becoming tired that everyone speaks about AI. But to be honest, we ourselves inside the company, 2 years ago, we have identified that this is, let's say, the new big thing, again, like in the 80s when the internet came, and I even expect AI to be even a bigger change for the market. So 2 years ago, we strongly forced every team member in the team to fully dedicate the time to AI, to work with the tools, finance, with taxes, with HR. I mean, you guys in marketing are using it, and the sales, but especially the developers we have, because they have been fantastic tools, and we see that every month those tools are becoming stronger and stronger, and the productivity is going higher and higher. And in the end, what we are doing is producing data, and data is the gold of the future. So we are working with the goal of the future, and we are using also the AI tools to make this data we are producing into a high value, because what has value has also, let's say, a value in a monetized sense. So I believe, and I'm convinced, that the combination IoT and AI is a must for the future. And as sooner as we work with it, as better it is to keep this competitive advantage in the market.
Thank you. And if we are talking about future, we can continue this conversation at IoT Sparks, which is another of our initiatives. It's happening on the 7th of October in Valencia. So if you haven't got your ticket now, we also have a very good promotion. I encourage everyone to get a ticket and join the conversation. We will talk about IoT best practices with a lot of companies, not just from the IoT world, but also from the real world, industry, utilities, automotive. We have so many people already registered, and the networking will be central in our event. And what else? Thank you, Julian, for being with us and for sharing your view, your insight, your personal story, and as an entrepreneur and as a CEO of LORIOT. And thank you to our audience. If you like this podcast, I would invite you to follow our channels and stay tuned for next episode. I didn't open a Q&A session this time from our audience, but if you have questions, please reach out and we will get back to you. Thank you very much to everyone and see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.